lot of people don't actually understand how hard it is to have an aesthetically pleasing YouTube channel. My 5 years on YouTube, I have acquired a ton of tips that are going to help you guys have an aesthetically pleasing YouTube channel and keeping all of your branding cohesive, filming, editing. If you want my best aesthetic YouTube channel tips, then stay till the end of this video. So what has always helped me in making my videos more aesthetically pleasing but making the process a lot easier when filming, just knowing what segments and sections you're gonna have in your video and how you're going to film them, like vlog style, b-roll, talking head. And I noticed that if you're thinking about the content, you're not thinking about the creativity. When I have all my content planned out in advance, I know that when I'm filming, I can focus on the art of it, I can focus on the angles, I can focus on everything and like how aesthetic it is, not the content that I'm actually making. You're gonna wanna get different angles. Yes, that definitely means filming the exact same scene over and over and over in 3 different angles so that you can have more of a produced, you know, aesthetic video. When I'm filming a morning routine, say when I wake up, I have so many clips of me grabbing my phone and then I stop, I will switch the camera angle, I will grab my phone again. And this honestly creates such a nice, like produced, almost like documentary style video. It does take a lot of time, but it's worth it in the end. Next, we have some of the most important things while you're filming your video that can definitely take your videos to the next level. Focusing. The most aesthetically pleasing and creative videos I see always play with the focusing. So whether it's you're focusing on something in the foreground and then you switch to the background, it gives such a nice like produced look. Or you're playing with simply just like the f-stop. You can have a really blurry background one time and then you can have a whole landscape shot that's not blurry at all. Rule of thirds. This is definitely used a lot in like photography. This is all about framing. Framing. When you have a grid on your camera, you can actually turn grid mode on so you can see where you are, and I actually have that on. You're supposed to put yourself on the second line, like on one of those vertical lines. I think it's pretty good right now because I have one colorful thing here, I have my magnet here, I'm not exactly in the middle, but I'm kind of like on this line. And your background. I clean up my apartment every single time I film a video. I definitely make sure that I have white on my walls. I actually just repainted that wall, and now all of the walls except one are white in my apartment. And the lighting. Let's get something straight. This is good lighting, but this is also good lighting. I usually will just use this ring light that I have from Amazon. I will link down below, but I use this one for usually like talking videos where I really want everything to be kind of more like 2-dimensional, not a lot of shadows on my face, and really just like flat lighting. This is also really good for makeup videos and beauty tutorials and things where you're not really moving around a ton, and also when you don't have dark background because then you'll see the ring of the light. But I also really love the look of natural lighting where there are some shadows on my face. This can also be good lighting. I'm using literally my phone flashlight right now and it's backlit. There are definitely shadows on my face. I can go like this, make one side lighter and one side darker. Every video doesn't have to be bright and white, so experiment with the lighting, ladies and gents, because a lot of people don't. Now I'm gonna get to all of the equipment that I use, but I just wanna say the equipment that you use does not have to be high quality for your video to be high quality. You don't really need to have a DSLR to have an amazing video. So what I use for my more aesthetically pleasing videos is the Canon 80D, which is this bad boy right here. I love using it. The autofocus is so quick, it's so quiet. The mic I use is a super tiny little mic, you see it right here, and it makes the audio so much better. Let me show you. This is me talking with the mic, and this is me talking without the mic. It just brings in a ton of like background noise and it's really disgusting and distracting, so we're not gonna do that. So the lens that I use is the Canon EFS 24mm macro 2.8 lens. Basically, the 2.8 is like what you should be focusing on right now because that is the f-stop. And the f-stop is how much light you're letting into your photos and how blurry your background's gonna be. So the lower the f-stop, the more blurry the background is going to be. And for vlogging, I use the Canon M6 Mark II camera with the 15 to 45mm IS STM lens. This one is actually a zoom lens. Oh, skin looks kind of good. Wait. I personally love this camera and lens because first of all, you can attach a mic to it, which is really, really nice. It's not the most compact for vlogging because you can't actually take, like, the lens doesn't retract. So the lens is kind of just always there. This one is IS, which means image stabilization. So when you're like moving around and blah, 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 it won't be that shaky. It's like kind of expensive, but it's not the most expensive vlogging camera. And this one is way more durable than the Canon G7X. I do still have that one, but it's like broken. It's my backup camera. I know so many YouTubers have switched to this one, so definitely would recommend. I also use this little tripod guy for vlogging. I recently just like unboxed this in my little vlog. It's like super easy to attach onto the camera and it makes setting up angles so easy. You can literally just put this on the ground if you're outside. And I will also link this tripod as well as my ring light and my little button that's like remote control that controls the camera and like takes photos if you're by yourself, down below. Now for the real test, which is the editing. I've been editing my videos for so freaking long, stabilizing your clips where the camera is moving. Stabilize the footage. It's literally in Final Cut Pro. Oh, I edit my videos in Final Cut Pro, by the way. But it's literally just something you go, you press on the video, and then you scroll down, you press stabilization, and it's done. And that actually leads me to the second tip, which is playing with the timing. Like do slow motion, do fast motion. I like to do a lot of my morning routines and more like calm videos in slow motion, and then I like to do more of like my vlogs and like productive things in fast motion. It just kind of like adds to the vibe. You need to like switch up what you're putting in your videos. Graphics, pop-ups, sound effects, transitions, not too much so it doesn't become like too like distracting. People get like a headache while watching your videos. Just adding stuff and switching up your editing techniques and skills and styles will make your video so much more interesting to watch and also more aesthetically pleasing. Fonts and color palettes. Let's talk about this. It's actually really, this is like one of my favorite things to do is like looking up fonts, creating like a nice cohesive brand for yourself, like fonts that you're gonna use in your videos, in your thumbnails, in your banner, and a color palette that you're going to use in your videos. Mine is definitely like white, pale pink, brown, and maybe some black. It's colors that I really, really like. It's colors that I like seeing in like different fonts. I feel like it goes well with the colors in my videos, and it also like kind of reflects my personality. It'll make you look a lot more professional when you're using the same fonts and the same colors in all of your content. Transitions. This is actually something that I haven't really been focusing on for all of my videos, and now I'm trying to kind of start getting more into transitions. It'll actually contribute to more viewer time because the video just kind of flows, and it's not like you're literally sitting in one spot the entire time talking to a camera for 10 minutes. People want to see a video being like broken up. They want to have like a little mental break between one section to another section. So especially in talking videos, use transitions, use pop-ups, use fonts so you can keep the viewer entertained and not just like listen to your voice for 10 minutes with no transitions. LUTs and color grading. Find your aesthetic, find what you like. Do you like soft? Do you like contrasty? Do you like super saturated, bright white? Do you want it pastel? My editor that helps me with my videos actually color grades my videos according to what they were before, and it might not seem like a huge difference to you, but if you saw the footage before versus after, how it's more saturated, it's a little brighter, and it just kind of like looks a little more pleasing to the eye, you would definitely see a big difference. Something you can also play with are green screen overlays, and a ton of people have been getting into this where they do like vintage little static, or they do like an outline of a film camera rolling. It's like a really vintage retro aesthetic, but also there's like light leaks. You can do a little bokeh thingy. There are so many YouTube green screens. You can just look up VHS green screen overlay. You can download it as an MP4 file and literally just like plop it into your timeline. This one is so important, and it's the music. The music literally gives you an opportunity to set the vibe for the video. If you start out your lifestyle video with a nice soft vintage lofi beat, everyone's gonna know it's gonna be like a chill, nice, aesthetically pleasing kind of day. But if you start off like Brent Rivera style with a boom, what's up you guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, and it's this like crazy background music with a bunch of like loud sounds and all these things, you're gonna expect it to be a very exciting video. So make sure it reflects what you're doing, and also switch up the music and kind of like make sure you're using different music in your videos so it doesn't just kind of like become repetitive and boring. Make sure you fade in and out the music. It makes your video flow so much better. It makes it look and sound more professional because it's not like B-roll blah, 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 and then it's like, hey guys, so like today I'm gonna be doing. Now on to my last set of tips. Now we're going to talk about your channel branding. It's actually crazy how many roles a YouTuber plays in their career because they're the person in front of the camera, they're usually filming it, they're directing it, they are editing it, they're uploading it, and they're interacting, they're marketing themselves, but they're also designing themselves, and they have to have a vision of what they want their brand to look like because it's exactly how people are going to perceive them. Your branding has to be cohesive. If you have a different brand between all of your videos, like your thumbnails are super bright in one, then they're super pastel in another one, or you're using completely different fonts and completely different everything on your thumbnails, or your channel banner theme doesn't match your thumbnail aesthetic, or even your social media accounts aren't on the same aesthetic and vibe, it doesn't make sense. People, once again, love to group you in a category. They love to know exactly what they're expecting from you. If you make your aesthetic and your branding and your like message essentially the same across all of your boards, you're golden. And it also makes you look like you know what you are doing. Everything from your profile picture, also with intro cards and end slates and pop-ups and everything that you add into your videos, it has to reflect the brand that you're showing everyone everywhere. The color palette, the fonts, the graphics, everything you're using in your thumbnail contributes to such a nice aesthetic. I will edit every single screenshot on VSco or on Lightroom to make sure that it's like up to par with the aesthetics. First of all, when you're scrolling through and you click on someone's channel, the first thing you see is their banner, their profile picture, and then all of the thumbnails. The first judgment they have of you are your thumbnails. So you're gonna wanna make sure it represents you, it represents your videos. No one is going to click on your video if the thumbnail isn't attractive in some way. So you could have spent so much time on that video and the thumbnail's bad, no one's gonna watch it. Don't do that to yourself. Like, do not do that. And that's all of my tips. If you guys enjoyed that video and got some really good tips, make sure to comment them down below and actually tell me which ones you knew and which ones you didn't know. I'm super curious. Like, I want to know if I actually taught you something in this video. I don't know. I will see you in a couple of days for my next vlog. And let me know what other types of like YouTube channel tip videos you want to see. I love you guys so much and I hope you have an amazing day. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.